Hello, everybody, and welcome in. Welcome in. So this is the I guess we'll call it first episode of the World Monster Truck Championship podcast. Um, so I'm gonna talk about some things that I've been. Uh, we're doing real life series. I'm gonna be talking about that, talking about points. We'll do news videos, all that stuff. It'll all be live. I'm gonna try to do it Tuesday, Thursdays, but maybe it'll be Wednesdays. It just depends on the schedule, holidays, etc. But yeah, so we're here. First episode. Obviously, this is on my Caden Kessler YouTube channel. I'm just posting everything there. Uh, if you want to check out my personal Instagram, it is Caden Kessler 15. And then my World Monster Truck Championship stuff, the beam content, all that stuff is on that World Monster Truck Championship Instagram. Yeah, and so that's basically it for now. Uh, for the Instagram and intro and whatever, all that stuff. But yeah. So we're going to go over kind of the points and all that stuff, like how the points are going to work, etc. Maybe I'll show you some of the beam stuff, but as of right now, we'll go with the real life stuff, and I'll explain that and explain how that's going to work and all that stuff. So yeah, let's get into it here. Let me transition over here. See what's the layout here looking like. Sorry about that. Just getting everything all set up here. Here we are. So we're here. So as you can see, I have Tough Monster Truck Tour here. All the lineup, all the trucks. If there's any mistakes on there, let me know. You can also let me know at Instagram. Just DM me. Got the All Star Monster Truck Tour, and then Monster Jam Stadium Tours, and the 3 Arena Tours. So how this is going to work out here. So I put the dates they are all scheduled to run through as the tour. So Toughest is going from January 5th to May 4th. All Stars going from January 6th to March 24th. Monster Jam Stadium Tours going from January 5th to May 18th, and all Monster Jam Tours are going from January 5th to May 18th. But all of these tours gonna combine points, and you may say it's uneven for the amount of rounds that they go. So you can see all the Monster Jam tours are much longer. I think the only one that's not as long as the Stadium Tour. So let's see here. So you might say it's unfair, but if you look at the truck lineup compared to the amount of stops, the Toughest Tour and the All-Star Tour have 6 trucks. And then going down, there's only, how many? I think 12 for Toughest. But points will pretty much even out as they go through. And trying to crown the top, the top guy in that series. So let me explain this a little bit. I'll explain points and all that stuff. So here's your criteria here. So a win is 5 points. You get the racing win, 5 points. You get a freestyle win, 5 points. It changes up a little bit with freestyle and racing. So racing, you go to the finals, but you lose. You get 1 point for that finals loss, and semifinals don't get anything. It's strictly the finals who get the points. Except second place only gets 1 point just for competing. And then going into freestyle, obviously the win is 5 points. Just explain that. But second place, you get 2 points. So if you end up finishing second, you only get 2 points. And then third place is 1 point. So second place and third place won't have much of a point discrepancy as first place and second place, which I think is perfect. But I mean, points are really going to matter on this whole thing to crown who is the overall best driver from each tour. So I kind of took inspiration from SMX. If you don't know what that is, it's Super Motocross World Championship. It is it's AMA and Feld and all that. Feld also runs Supercross as well as Monster Jam. Feld runs the Supercross season. I think MX Sports is what it is that they run the motocross season, and they combined for a 3-round playoff at the end of the year. And so I kind of took inspiration from that and trying to get all of these tours into like a combined, like, okay, these are the like overall points or whatever. So if just to explain, so also I got news last night. I was watching the Crush This podcast. So Mark McDonald will be driving Dozer for the first couple of weeks, as Jerry Beck will be having a kid, I believe. So I stated down here that if driver switches trucks, points to his driver. So when it comes to this kind of thing, I'm going to have Mark McDonald be his own driver. So the points are not going to be staying with the truck, they're staying with the driver. Which does suck, but that's how I'm rating it on the best driver, not the best truck. So let's say like a situation that happened last year where Cody Saucier had to step in for think what was his name? When he left El Toro Loco and like Chelsea Van Cleve had to go in and all that. Cody Saucier ended up stepping in El Toro Loco. The points would go with Cody Saucier on his tour. The points would just be added on to his truck. So yeah, he drove Dragon in the Arena Series, but he went over to stadiums, drive El Toro Loco. So those points would just stick with Cody. So if that makes sense, what I'm going on here, but so yeah, these are all the tours, stops, etc. So it's the top 30 that get in. So this green is all going to be filled up. And that's the top 30. And then on the verge, that's like you're right there. It's kind of, if you think about it, it's like the NFL playoffs. Like, oh, here's the wild card. Here's your actual playoff bracket, whatever. And then this is your out. So this is like you're really far outside looking in. Like you have little chance to make it. I do think with this points formatting, a lot of drivers will be in it till the very end, and we could see a lot of shifting. But we'll just see how it goes here. I'll just put the list of drivers that do end up driving other trucks, etc. right there. I was gonna initially put them underneath, but I'm just gonna put them there. I'll put the name of the truck. I'll be able to see whatever points, etc. wise. So I'm going to go in. I'm going to break down each tour here. So I'm going to start off here with the toughest monster truck tour. So Yeah, so Tailgater, Tim Jones, he is the reigning champion of the toughest monster truck tour. Very, very good at driving in these arenas. He lets it all out. Tim Jones is definitely one of those guys that I think can get into that top 30, especially if he wins the tour. I think he's gonna get into that top 30 easily. Jerry Beck's another dude that I could see getting into that top 30. Um, just because he's so good. These two are so good. That tour is gonna be neck and neck. And I feel like if Jack Brown was driving the entire tour, it'd be a three-way race. But since Jack Brown isn't, I'm gonna give it to Tim Jones and Jerry Beck. And I don't remember how many stops Mark McDonald's doing. But if Mark was running the entire tour, I would put him up there too. I personally don't think he'll get into the top 30. We'll have to see. But I I don't think he will, but I think the top two that could possibly get into the top 30 from the toughest tour would be Tim Jones and Jerry Beck. Not knocking on like Travis or Darren. Um, I don't know how many stops they're running, and I know Tailgater and Dirt Crew I believe are running the entire tour, but Maximus Blockhead and the veteran with Tyler Roth, Darren Basil, and Travis Garoth. I don't know how many stops are running. I think Darren's running all the stops with Blockhead. Not exactly sure, but I know that the Groth brothers are not running every single stop. I believe. But I don't. If Darren is in it the whole time, I could see him in the top 30 as well. It's just there's so many trucks and drivers and so little points given out. It's kind of tough to figure out the top 30. And like with these smaller independent tours, it also relies on that strength of like competition and schedule. So if there's a tie, like let's say there's a three-way tie, it's between someone on the toughest tour, someone on the All-Star tour, and someone on a stadium tour. The strength of competition or strength of schedule is going to go to that Monster Jam driver because they have the tougher competition. So it's when it's a tie, it's going to favor the Monster Jam guys more so than the independent guys. And that's not a knock on the independent tours and whatever. It's just those Monster Jam stadium tours are going to have one tougher competition that's gonna, it's gonna be a struggle to compete. And there are so many more trucks and so many more stops that points are gonna be few and far between. Like I don't think trucks are gonna be stacking up points. I think it'll be like a very close race between all the stadiums, and arenas is a little different. But yeah, I that's how that's gonna work if there is a tie in that sense. But yeah. So as I was saying, I think the toughest tour will be a great tour. So they're gonna stop. Their first stop is in Prescott. Then they go to Rio Rancho, Sioux Falls, Youngstown, Saginaw, Michigan, Lafayette, Louisiana, Casper, Wyoming, Loveland, Colorado, and Grand Forks, North Dakota. So I believe all those are smaller arenas outside of Grand Forks. Grand Forks like that, like stadium size track. So I can see a Dirt Crew or Tailgater taking it away. Jack Brown and Dozer. I think he'd be a close third if it wasn't for for him having to leave. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. See what trucks get into the top 30, and then like crown it or whatever. I'm considering doing like a fan poll, so like it's like a fan bracket and then a fan bracket and like my personal racing bracket. Because I'm gonna crown a champion for who has the most points in the season. Out of all the tours, who has the most points wins the championship. And then just for fun, we're going to do like a bracket, like, who do you think's the better driver? And then with those top 30, and then uh, who is the best in that sense. So yeah, just give me just a second. We're going to take a quick break here, and we'll be right back after this. Alrighty, here we are. Here we are. Can everybody hear me? We good? Alrighty, here we are. Oh shoot! Alright, that was loud. Okay. Let me go back to that there. Okay, we are here. So I was just explaining the toughest tour, who I think is gonna win, and who I think could possibly get into that top 30. Let's move on to the All-Star Tour. So you got Elliot Miller in the Colossus, Crazy Train, Triton Robbins, Little Miss Dangerous with Athena Cazell, Playing Crazy with Montana Robbins, Terminal Velocity, John Zimmer Jr., and Uproar with John Zimmer. So Elliot Miller, he is a great driver. The truck looks so clean. That truck is a clean looking truck. Crazy Train, Triton Robbins, he's won the tour, I think, the past 2 years. I don't remember exactly, but yeah, Triton Robbins, great driver. He could easily get into that top 30. He is such a good driver. Skills, he's amazing. Obviously, skills doesn't factor into these, but skills, he's so amazing. He's overall a good driver, like racing, freestyle, whatever. He puts on such a good show, even no matter what the venue is, whether it's a large venue or a small venue. And I think he could easily get into that top 30 with the way he runs. He could easily get into that top 30. But he is going to have some difficult competition. As I get to the bottom of this list, it is going to be crazy. So Little Miss Dangerous, Athena Cazell. I haven't seen much of her. I saw her run Sinistar a couple times, and other things like that. I haven't seen the truck yet. Don't know what body it's gonna run, but I think she'll be like middle of the pack kind of person. Like she's not gonna go out there and kill it in racing and kill it in freestyle. I think she'll be smooth, competitive, not destroy the truck. I think it'll be like kind of like those. Like I think she's got to at least get a win on the tour. I mean it's her first full season. So I mean she could show me up, honestly. And I would be surprised. I'd be happy there. I think she could be a good driver. From what I've seen, she could be a very consistent driver. And then you got another part of the Robbins brothers here, Playing Crazy with Montana Robbins. A great driver again, just like his brother. Just what I said about his brother. It's the same way. He can kill it in racing, kill it in freestyle. He is so good at everything. And it's like he could easily get into that top 30. Like it is so difficult, like trying to predict who's gonna win these tours because because all these guys have a shot. All of them have a shot. Crazy Train won it last year, I think. Plain Crazy was in second, I believe, in that tour. But yeah, those Robbins brothers are so good, and I cannot wait to see how they compete versus these next two that I talk about. Which I did not expect them to leave Monster Jam. I mean, they did leave Overboard, Team Overboard there, and they have their own. I think it's Send It Motorsports is what it is, but John Zimmer Jr. in Terminal Velocity is taking that Terminal Velocity truck to the All Star Tour, and this is the guy that I think can put Triton Robbins in his place after winning the past 2 years. John Zimmer Jr. is absolutely unbelievable. I honestly think he should have gotten to the World Finals last year. Those arena runs that he had were absolutely insane. Insane. Like, which one was it? I think it was at the Freedom Hall Arena, I believe. I don't remember what exactly, but was it Louisville? I think. I don't remember, but that run that he had was absolutely unbelievable. I was shocked, but yeah, John Zimmer, I think, is the guy to beat on the tour. Like, yes, Crazy Train, Triton Robbins won the tour the past couple years, but man, that John Zimmer Jr. in that Terminal Velocity truck is going to be, I believe, the man to beat. And speaking of another guy that I think is unreal, John Zimmer in the Uproar truck. We haven't seen what the Uproar truck's going to look like, but John Zimmer is a veteran of the sport. He's drove so many trucks, and he is so good at driving. I think it was 2010 when I went to the World Finals. He was driving the Amso Shock Therapy, and that dude went round after round before nearly getting knocked out by Dennis in, was it the semifinals or quarterfinals? I don't remember, but he nearly got knocked out by Dennis, who ended up winning that Racing World Championship. And he's obviously drove other trucks like Gravedigger and Dragon and all that. And he's a great competitor. I think he just recently also drove Blockhead and Wildside. But he's a good driver. He knows his way around the track. He's a veteran of the sport. He's going against a lot of these young kids, including his own son. He's going against a lot of these younger kids, and I think that he could show them up. He's one of those that could also win the tour. I think Zimmer Jr. I think he'll take it, but John Zimmer's not to be messed with. I think it's a four-way race between Triton Robbins, Montana Robbins, John Zimmer Jr., and John Zimmer. I think all four of them have the shot to go get it. Like it's gonna be a four-way race, and it's gonna be crazy because they're gonna have to battle for points. Like, I think points are gonna be sparse on this because it's gonna be boom, 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 boom. Like, every single one of them is gonna get points here or there. You know, you can only get so many points in a night. Whereas, like, you know, you're gonna get, you know, if you win racing, you get 5 points, and then if you win freestyle, you get 5 points. But I think it's gonna be like Crazy Train's gonna win racing, and Zimmer Jr. is gonna win freestyle, but Zimmer Jr. is also gonna be, you know, gonna get in the semifinals and get that 1 point. But then Montana Robbins is gonna get second place in freestyle, and then John Zimmer is gonna get third place in freestyle and get the 1 point. It's like these points, I think, are gonna be scattered out, and it's going to be difficult for them to get into the top 30 because they're not going to be able to stack up points like that. I believe all four of them can easily get into the top 30, like, easily. It's just the difficulty of their tour, I think, will hurt them. But I mean, we'll see. Um, so one of my favorite places that I've seen, I know a lot of people might think that's weird, but Brooksville, I love that little arena there, how you can kind of wrap around the tree there. But Brookville, that is a great place. I'll be doing like a weekly preview, as I said earlier. But yeah, Brooksville, that is a great place. And then you got Naples with that giant gap. That is going to be absolutely crazy of a gap. And I can't wait to see how these drivers attack it. Last year, Triton Robin just sent it and destroyed 2 tires, as you can see in the intro there. Watching Back Channel Productions, his clip of it, it's just crazy. But and then it's a lot of like Florida and like the southern stops. So 4 Florida stops right in a row, or 4, I mean. Brooksville, Naples, Davie, Pensacola, and then you go Birmingham, Alabama, Norman Park, Georgia, Winder, Georgia, Knoxville, Tennessee, Spartanburg, South Carolina, Shelby, North Carolina, and Chattanooga, Tennessee. I don't remember the arena for Chattanooga, but I think it'll come down to like it'll be crazy. I think it'll come down to the very end on who's gonna first off win the tour and who's gonna have the most points in this tour. But yeah, I'm excited to see the All-Star Tour, see how they do. It's pretty exciting, to be honest. Like, I think it's you know, I think it'll be a great tour to watch for sure. I mean, all these tours are going to be great to watch, I think. So right now, I'm going to skip over to the arena tours. We're going to just go this way, start out with Arena Tour 3, and go over. So, Arena Tour 3, I don't remember which arena tour this is. I don't remember if it's Central, East, or West, but whatever. So you got Gravedigger, Kristen Anderson, El Toro Loco, Armando Castro, Dragon, Cody Saucier, Megadon, Angelina Knock, Wildside, Zach Garner, Ramunition, Kurt Kramer, Overboard, Chad Tingler, and Raminator, Mark Hall. So this is a great tour. And this tour, I think, could be the tour where an independent wins the series. Wildside, I think, could easily. I think like it's not gonna like it'll be difficult for him, obviously, but I think it's out of all the tours, I think this one will be the easiest for him to win. Because ever since Cody's been in Dragon, it's like he's like let off a little bit. It seems like to me personally. Ever since he got out of Monster Energy and is in Dragon, seems like he's kind of let off a bit. I really hope Dragon wins. I hope Cody Saucier and Dragon wins that tour. There's 3 guys who really stand out to me on this tour, and that's Armando Castro, Cody Saucier, and Zach Garner. Those 3, I think, could possibly win the tour. Those 3, I think, easily get into the top 30. And I don't want to dog on Kristen because Kristen is so good as well. I think her issue is she doesn't have that many wow factors. She's very consistent, but she doesn't have like the wow factors that Armando can lay down, Cody can lay down, Zach can lay down. I mean, she's a great driver, and I hope she steps it up, but I don't think she'll win the tour. I mean, she easily could. I mean, those Gravedigger trucks, those things are bad fast. I just think the top 3 are at a different tier level than Christian is right now. And then you got Angelina Knock. I don't know if she's drove a truck before. I think she'll finish towards the end or towards the bottom of the series, just because I don't know much about her. I think she did drive once, but she didn't do all too well. I mean, obviously she's going to be a rookie, so I I believe she's a rookie. So I think she'll just be kind of figuring it out, working the kinks out. Um, Chad Tingler's not a guy to be, you know, to let go either. Uh, he has been in the sport forever, and he is so good at driving. He drove Spider Man, Gravedigger. He drove Monster Truck Dalmatian when he hit that giant triple and almost won freestyle. I think it was on the yearbook cover as well. But then you got Kurt Kramer Ammunition, that all blue ammunition truck, and then Raminator with Mark Hall. Mark Hall's getting, I think he's steadily getting better at like the skills and freestyle stuff. He's always been a bad fast racer. He can always win a racing competition. But Kurt Kramer, he is consistent. You know, but he doesn't win racing, and he doesn't really win freestyle either. He's very just kind of, he's just consistent. He sits there in the middle, does what he needs to do, and gets the truck back on the trailer in one piece every night, which is a good quality, because you don't want to, as an independent, you don't want to be I mean, even as like a company driver, you don't want to be tearing up these trucks, like, because that hurts you in the points. So yeah, and so they're going to be hitting some good arena shows here. I don't see any of the bigger arena shows. I think that's all just west outside of Salinas. So yeah, they're gonna be hitting up Salinas, but yeah, I mean, let's see, Wilkes-Barre I think will be a great one there. Baltimore, but they start out in Florence. So yeah, I think it'll be a great tour. I think this is the longest of all the tours. So we'll see how it goes here, and they ended off in Salinas. But so for the not just to explain this, but for the not points events, they're still gonna get scored points. So like even on the stadium tours, they're still getting points scored. So kind of sucks a little bit for those drivers that don't get to compete, but that's just the way that it is, and that's the way that I'm gonna score the points. Next up, going on to the Arena Tour 2 here, you got Gravedigger and Weston Anderson, El Toro Loco, Fernando Martinez, Monster Dalmatian with Jamie Sullivan, Megalodon with Michaela Tulechka, Just Get Her Done with Brandon Tulechka, Scooby Doo with Brianna Mahan, Zombie with Frank Krimmel, and Stone Crusher with Alex Barton. So, I think personally, with the competition that's here, I think Weston is getting first place. I don't want to be like mean to these other competitors here, but I think Weston runs away with it. Weston is just so good at every single competition he does. He is absolutely unreal. The things that he does in an arena is absolutely insane. And there's not really much to say because he's just so good. But then you got Fernando Martinez in the El Toro Loco truck. He is a rookie. I think he'll do well. We'll see how he does. Like, I feel like he could either be up there and just surprise everyone, or he could be more of middle of the pack because he's trying to figure things out. But overall, I think he could do well. Next up, you got Jamie Sullivan. She's been progressing throughout the year. I feel like from seeing her from her FTI Tour days to now, she's gotten so much better at driving. And I don't know if it's because of the Dalmatian truck being a company truck, or if it's just her getting comfortable driving. But I think she's getting really good, and she could be up there in points. I think she could be competing with Weston. Like, I guess not competing with Weston. I don't think anybody competes with Weston, but I think she could be up there in like second, third, fourth place. Um, then you got Megalodon, Michaela Tulechka. Um, she did pretty well for her first year on a Monster Jam tour. Uh, I watched her on the All Star tour, not last year, but the year prior, and it seemed like she was figuring things out there. And now she's kind of got things figured out on the arena tours because it's different going from like the All Star tour to Monster Jam. It's just a different learning curve there, I believe. But I think she'll do well. I think she'll sit like middle of the pack, you know. But I don't think she'll do anything too great. I mean, we'll see how it goes. But this next guy, I think he could be up there for possibly second place on the tour, second, third place on the tour, and that's Brand Telechka and the Just Get It Done too. Um, he's so good at racing, and he throws down some good freestyles, and he's so good at the just skills. He can pop it up on the two wheels and just hold it there. But yeah, I think Brandon could really throw it down and show everybody what's up. Um, and all that. I think it'll be. I think Brandon could be up there. Next up, someone I'm really excited about. She's the coolest person ever. And I think she deserves to win the World Finals. I think if she doesn't, she's going to be put up there with the likes of Lindsey Wink and the greatest drivers to ever not win a World Finals. And that's Brianna Mahan. She's going to be driving the Scooby Doo. She's not going to be driving Whiplash, but I'm excited to see how she competes. I could see her getting second or third. It's just like Brandon, like those. I think here's the tiers. It's Gravediggers, Weston Anderson, and then the tier below them is Brand Telechka and the Just Get Her Done, and Brianna Mahan and Scooby Doo. I think those are like, I think that's the tier list there. And then third tier list would be like Jamie Sullivan and all of them. But I think Brianna tears it up. I mean, yeah, she's not gonna be in the stadiums, like where I feel like she's comfortable and how she did so well. But I think she gets into the World Finals, and I think that she could get into the top 30 in points. But moving on to the man Frank Krimmel and Zombie. Um, I he doesn't seem to do all too well in arenas. I mean, back in the day, he competed on a lot of stadiums, and I think he did well there. Arenas, I mean, I don't know, and maybe it's just because he's getting older. I feel like he's not able to compete with those top guys anymore. But yeah, I think he'll do well though. I think he'll get a couple wins here and there. And then Alex Barden, I believe he competed on Monster Truck Wars, I believe, but I don't know much about him. Um, hopefully he does well. Um, I'm excited to see Stone Crusher running. I love seeing Stone Crusher run. It's one of my favorite trucks. But yeah. So see, they're gonna go to Nashville, Tennessee as their first stop, and then I don't see any big arenas. So yeah, I think this is one of the smallest ones outside of the independent tours. But yeah, I think it'll be good. I think it'll be a good tour. I think Weston runs away with it, obviously. But I think Brandon and Brianna will be up there in second and third place. But yeah, so we will take a quick break and I will be right back right after this. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and we are right back. Sorry about that. I needed to get up and stretch my legs for a bit because my legs were hurting, but and needed to get a drink. So we could sit here and talk about the last arena tour and the two stadium tours. Alrighty, so we're gonna talk about arena tour one. That is gonna have Gravedigger, Brandon Vincent, El Toro Loco, Manuel Sorino. Sorry if I butchered that name. Megalodon with Ash Stanford, Monster Morello with Berto Trevino, Thunder Roars with Tony Oaks, Earthshaker with James Calhoun, Velociraptor with Devin Winfield, and Jurassic Attack with Dalton Widener. So, this is, I believe, the West tour. So I think it's West. So it'll be West would be here, Central's here, and East is here, I believe. But to get into it, so Brandon, I think, is the favorite of the tour. So I think it'll be Gravedigger with so it's Gravedigger Brandon Vincent. He won the racing championship when they did the over under and it dumped rain. He beat Ryan. He's a great driver. He does very well. I believe he will he'll be able to he'll be able to keep the lead for a while if he gets into it. But yeah, Brandon, I think he's up there. It's the Gravedigger drivers. Those Gravedigger drivers are unreal. I don't know too much about Manuel Sorino, but I think he'll do well. I think it just depends on how the truck is with breakage and all that, and I think maybe he'll keep it middle of the pack. But yeah, overall, I think he'll do well. I don't know how much, or I don't know much, so I'm not going to say much until later when after I do all my research and we delve into the tours. But then we got Ashley Sanford, Megalodon. She did pretty well last year. And so I think she'll do pretty well this year. I don't think she's gonna win the tour, but I think she could do very well for herself. And yeah, I think she'll keep it middle of the pack. I don't know too much about Berto Trevino. I am so excited that he's bringing the Monster Water back, though. So excited. But yeah, again, don't know too much about him, and so I'm not going to say much. I'm definitely going to look up some things, and before I do my week one preview. But yeah, then you got Thunder Roars, Tony Oaks. He's one of those guys that I think could win. There are 3 guys in here that I think could win it. But yeah, Tony Oaks, Thunder Roars, he could win it. Him and Brandon, I think, will go back and forth for sure. Definitely could get into the top 30, both of them. But yeah, I'll explain a little bit more about Tony Oaks and Brandon Vincent later after I get done with this whole thing. But Earthshaker with James Calhoun. I don't know too much about him. I know he runs for Throttle Monster. And I hope he does well. Because I love watching that Earthshaker truck. The truck's super cool, I think. I don't know. I don't know too much about him, so I'll save it until later when I do the week one preview. And then you got Velociraptor, Devin Winfield. I think he'll do great. I think he'll be middle of the pack, maybe up there a little bit more. Yeah, I think he'll do pretty well. I think he will do pretty well. Then you got Jurassic Attack, Dalton Widener. This guy, I think, along with Zach Garner, I think could possibly win the tour. I think it'll be a 3-headed race between Brandon, Tony, and Dalton. And I think all 3 of them could easily win this tour. and easily get into that top 30 in points. But yeah, I'm excited to see how it goes. I'm excited to see how they compete. Kind of pulling for Dalton, to be honest. I hope he wins the tour just because I want to see an independent win a tour this year. And I think this year is the year that an independent goes out there and wins a tour. But yeah. Now we're gonna move on to these stadium tours. So these are like the big deals here. 12 trucks. It'll be crazy. Um, Start out with Stadium Tour 2. So Tyler Meniga and Gravedigger just came off the Tubular Skills Championship. Won his tour last year versus Ryan Anderson, which is not easy to do at all. But Tyler's gonna go out there and he's gonna tear it down. But the guy that I'm looking at that I think could win it is Tom Mintz. Tom Mintz, it's his final year. He's retiring after this year. I think Tom's gonna lay it on the line. He's gonna have like that classic Tom Mintz, Max D, like early to late 2000s, just Tom Mintz kind of run there every weekend, I think. And he's gonna be running different bodies. I'm excited. I think Tom's gonna tear it up this year. But yeah. Next up, you got Tristan England in the Digtron, the JCB truck. Excited to see how he does here. I'm so glad that he's on stadiums and out of arenas. He just won the World Racing Championship. That guy is bad fast. I was hoping to see his father in Big Kahuna, but just I guess didn't have enough spots. Maybe they'll extend to 3 stadium tours next year. Who knows? But Tristan, he could tear it up. I don't think he'll win the series, but I think he'll tear it up for sure. Next up, you got Lindsay Reed and the Lucas Stabilizer. She's good. I don't think she'll be able to compete with the guys. I think she definitely has her moments. Like she'll win a freestyle, she'll win a racing, but I do not think that she'll be able to like be consistent enough to be at the top there. But see how it goes. She's filling in for Cynthia Gauthier. So yeah. Next up you got Megalodon, Todd LeDuc. He's good. I love watching him drive. He sends it all the time, and he is so good in racing. He has been a little down. It seems like ever since getting in Megalodon. I wish they'd put him in Blue Thunder, but or even, I mean, Monster Energy doesn't work with them anymore, or Metal Militia, but I think it'd be cool to see him in Blue Thunder. But yeah, I think Todd will do well. I don't know about winning the tour. I mean, it would be so cool if he could win the tour, but I think Tyler and Tom are just right up there where I don't know. I mean, he'll be up there. I just don't think that he'll be able to compete with those two. I think Tom and Tyler will be going back and forth. Next up, you got Bryce Kenny and Mohawk Warrior. I think a good place for him to sit is like 4th on the series. Like he'll be up there, but I don't think he'll be able to compete with the top line guys. But yeah, I think he'll do. I think he'll do pretty well. It's Bryce. He drives the wheels off that truck. He's consistent in racing. He's really good at freestyle. He sends it every freestyle. So yeah, I think he'll do. I think he'll do well. Next up, you got Jamie Garner and El Torlico. Wish he was driving Overboard. Luckily, Chad's driving that truck. But yeah. So Jamie, he did pretty well last year. And I think he'll do well again this year. I think he'll be kind of like a Bryce. He'll be like, 5th or 6th, kind of just sit there, and he does well. He's very consistent. He can win racing. He can win freestyle. I think he can do well. He puts wins down everywhere. I think he'll do well. Next up, you got Nick Pegley and Kraken. He had a pretty solid year this year, especially Tampa. Tampa was like his like highlight moment of the year. He went absolutely off in freestyle. So I think he'll do well. Um, I don't, I don't know if he'll be able to get into that top 30, but yeah, I think he'll do fairly well. Um, Next up, you got Jester, Matt Pegarulo. I think he'll be at the bottom of the tour. I hate to say it because I love Matt, but I just think that the guys ahead of him are just so much better. Um, Next up, you got John Gordon, Bad Company. He could be one of those guys that's sitting up there with, third, fourth, fifth place. Like he's just so good. He is such a great driver. I think he'll do well. I think he'll do real well. And then you got Shaker with Ryan Disher. He's just like Bad Company and John Gordon. He'd be sitting there third, fourth, fifth place. I think he'll sit more to the middle of the pack. I mean, he did have some issues last year with truck issues and whatever, so hopefully that doesn't hinder him this year. But yeah, I'm excited to see how it goes for Ryan. Next up, you got Colvinard, Black Pearl. He's one of those guys that again sits up there at third, fourth, fifth place. It's like these guys, like it's so hard to predict where they're at because they're all just so good. So it's difficult, but I'm not gonna put any predictions on it yet. I'll later on predict who I think for my week one predictions will be whatever. But but yeah. So yeah, that's that tour. So they're gonna go San Antonio, Houston, St. Louis, Indianapolis, Tampa, Minneapolis, Miami, Orlando, Jacksonville. And then they're gonna hit an arena, be Hartford, Connecticut, and then they'll go to Syracuse, New York. And then they're going to go to that Speedway. They're head up Atlanta, Georgia, at the Atlanta Motor Speedway there. It's going to be crazy. They're going from a small arena to a stadium to a giant speedway. So I think that'll be pretty cool there. Next up, you got Foxborough, Denver, and then Philadelphia. I think these are all great tracks. Let's see, how many baseball stadiums are there? There's one. There's just one baseball stadium. But yeah, I think all these. I think honestly, if I had to pick a stop that I think is going to be the best throughout the year, it's either going to be Atlanta at the Speedway or Tampa. Tampa's always a great show. I mean, maybe even Houston as well, or Minneapolis. It's just crazy. Um, but yeah, I think these are all great stops, and I believe that um anybody could honestly win it. But I think it'll be between Tom and Tyler, to be honest. Now, last up, the Stadium Tour 1. This is the final tour that I will be talking about for today. It'll be Gravedigger, Adam Anderson, Zombie Bar Musauer, Soldier Fortune, Caleb Blood, Son of a Digger, Ryan Anderson, Buck Gun, Dragonwood, Cameron Murphy, Thunder Roars, Colt Stevens, Avenger with Jim Kohler, Monster Mouth, Chris Kohler, Megalodon with Corey Rummel, Velociraptor with David Olfert, El Toro Loco with Joe Foley, and Vendetta with Mike Christensen. I feel like I'm missing someone. No, I'm not. Okay, we're good. So it'll be so cool to see Ryan and Adam compete on the same tour. I don't think that's ever happened since the COVID year, which they weren't even in their actual trucks. So I want to see them in their actual trucks, which will be cool. Zombie Barman Sour is someone to compete with. He's good. He's so good at driving. Kayla's one of those that can compete every week with you. Camden, he's always up there. He gets close to winning it every year. It seems like. Your freestyle champion Colt Stevens. He's one of those that I think goes on a tear. Like he goes on like a freestyle win or a racing win or whatever, but he's not consistent to keep it up there at all times. So I mean, I don't know. I think it's just one of those things. So I think he'll be at the lower portion of the tour, but I mean, we'll see. Maybe he can step it up and be more consistent. Jim Kohler Avengers, he's always a threat. He goes out there, he tears the tears the truck up every weekend. Those trucks are heavy duty. I just watched their video with Fuel Tech, and I mean, I could see Jim winning a couple races with how that truck looks to be running. I could see Jim getting a racing win, which would be absolutely unreal. Like when he ran rounds in World Finals. I think it was 2017. But yeah, Chris Kohler, he is a huge threat. If it wasn't for the competition up at front, he could be up there. Chris is so good. He's literally running the footsteps of his father. I'm excited to see how he runs. I think he'll do well. But yeah, and then Corey Rummel, he could be up there. He could. I think he could be. I think he's just below Adam and Ryan. I think he's with like Camden and all them. I think he could be right up there. Next up, you got David Olfert. I do not know how you compete on a stadium. He does very well in arenas, but I'm just like thinking, I don't know. He could either be up there with Camden in them, or he could be lower and sit middle of the pack. So I don't know. We'll have to see how it goes. I'm excited to see David in stadiums, though. So excited. And then next up, you got Joe Foley in the El Toro Loco. I think he'll be good. He'll be, just like how he was last year. He had crazy moments and all that, so I think he'll do well. Then you got Vendetta with Mike Christensen. Again, he's like one of those that'll go out there and win. He ended up, I think he won an overall in Minneapolis last year, but I think he'll do well. I think it'll be kind of the same season as last year, to be honest. But yeah, so that's Stadium Tour 1. So they're gonna go San Francisco. I think they're going to the Giants, the San Francisco Giants baseball stadium. Then they're going to San Diego, Anaheim. Then they're going back to San Diego, then back to Anaheim. Then they're going to Houston, then back to Anaheim. Then they're going all the way across the country, going to Detroit, going to Arlington, Texas, and then they're going to hit, I believe, 3 arena tours. Arlington, Texas, Albuquerque, New Mexico, Nampa, Idaho, and as well as Iowa. But yeah, I think all these tours, you're gonna get at least one truck per tour that's in the top 30. I don't see any tour being left out of the top 30. Just because of how good all these drivers are. Oh shoot, I forgot to talk about the Arena Series West stops. That's fine. But yeah, I think all these stops and like all these trucks, I believe they'll all be great. I think everybody's gonna do well, and I expect a good run out of everyone here. I'm excited personally. I'm excited to see how the tour goes, and how the point series works for me personally. I'm gonna have to do a lot of work here. I'm gonna punching some numbers in. It'll be pretty cool. But I'm excited. I'm gonna keep you guys updated. Maybe we'll do 1 show a week, 2 shows a week. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, thank you to everyone. Make sure to check out the Instagram, Caden Coast 15 and World Monster Championship 2023. Check all that stuff out. Yeah, and I'll put a lot of more stuff on my Instagram than I will anything for YouTube, like community tab stuff, etc. But yeah, I'm excited to do this. I can't wait to see how it works out. Whatever. Yeah. So thank you guys very much. I will be posting about some things on Instagram later. So if you guys want to check that out, again, it's World Monster Championship 2023. So WMTC 2023. And then obviously my personal is Caden Kessler 15. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys in another stream or another video or whatever. But yeah, so thank you guys for watching. Means a lot. It's Caden, and I am signing out.